Hey, what's up everybody? Clayton here with Go Analytics, and today I want to show you how to create a slicer in Power BI that looks like something you would see in a web app. So let's get started. Hey, welcome to our YouTube channel. If you're finding us for the first time, be sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notifications to stay up to date on all of our latest videos. Alright, so we haven't done a video in a little while because we've been cooking up something really exciting that I'm excited to share with you a little bit later on. But today I wanted to bring you this video on how to create a Power BI slicer that looks like a web app. Something like this here, where we can use images, we can use a little bit of formatting, all within out-of-the-box visuals in Power BI, so no custom visuals, and we'll design something that looks amazing for our report viewers. So let's head on over to my laptop and I'll show you how to do that. All right, so here we are in Power BI Desktop, and this is the slicer that we want to create. So we want to create something that looks really awesome, that when we toggle it on, it changes our visuals here and changes the look and feel of that slicer. So we've already done this in here, so we're going to start from scratch and show you exactly what we did to get this slicer looking like this. So this slicer that we're using here, if you can see when I click on it, we're using the button slicer. So if you don't see this in your Power BI desktop, you might have to enable it from the preview features. So you would just go to your file and options and settings, and then select options, and then navigate down to where you see here preview features, and ensure that you have selected that visual. So as you can see here, I already have the button slicer visual selected, but if you haven't checked this off from the preview features, then you would click on this little button, click OK, and that would require you to restart Power BI Desktop. So once you restart Power BI Desktop, then you can go ahead and use the button slicer. So it's a really powerful slicer that allows a lot of modification to the formatting. So that's why we're using this one. All right, so let's start from scratch here. So I'm going to duplicate this page, and I'm going to delete this slicer completely. So we're going to start right from scratch. And what you'll notice here, if I go back to this slicer, is we have these little check boxes, and then when we click on it, it becomes a little check mark with a round circle on it. So that is an image that we're using. So I designed this image using Canva, and then I downloaded it, and then what I had to do is to host this image online. So you can do that through a SharePoint folder, OneDrive, or any type of online service that allows you to host a picture online. So the service that I used here is this free imgbb.com. So I just uploaded the image, and then it created a hosting here. So from this, I selected the HTML full linked and just copied this part of the code, which takes us directly to that image. So if I copy this and in a new browser here, paste that in, you'll notice that it takes me right to that image. So this is what I then bring into Power BI, and we created a measure for that. So we have this IMG check mark here, which is a very simple DAX measure, just with that URL that takes us to that blue checkbox image. And all we had to do then is to make sure that the data category is set to image URL. So when we first create this DAX, it's just text and uncategorized. So you do want to make sure that this is set to an image URL. Okay, so with that, all of that set up, let's get started formatting our slicer. So I'm going to go here to our button slicer and select it. I'll resize it a little bit here, maybe something like this. And I'm going to bring in our column that I want to use. So it's this new housing price indexes here. All right, so let's start with a couple basic things. So the first thing I want to do is to remove the title. So I go here to the formatting pane and general, and I will remove title. And I'll also remove header icons while I'm at it. And then I'm going to head back over to visual. And here is where we start to do some cool stuff. So let's start at the very top with slicer settings. So right now it's set to a single select. That's not what I want, because I want to be able to filter these lines. So if I can only select one, I can't choose multiple here. So I actually want to remove that. And then let's head on over to shape. So I will choose a rounded rectangle and change the rounding. And this is completely up to your discretion here, what type of shape you want. If you want something more of a pill shape, then maybe you can go 25 or 30 pixels here for your rounding. Then that starts to look a little bit more like a pill. Maybe that's a bit too much. We'll try 15 maybe. Getting there. Yeah, maybe we can go with something like this. And for our layout, we can select a lot of different options here. I'm going to select a single row because I want to keep this all in one row here. And you could change how many the maximum number of buttons that you would have and overflowing settings. We don't need to worry about that here because we just have the 3 different options here. And I will skip call out values for now. We'll do some of that formatting after. That's just formatting the text within our slicers. But let's head on over to images. And here is where we need to add our images. So I'm going to change this to all, and we can add that DAX URL right in here. So our image check mark. So as you can see, it's kind of weird there at the top. Something weird is going on, and that's because of this image fit. So it's set to fill. We're going to change that to normal. And now we have our little image there. It's very hard to see, but it is there. And here I want to select the position of our image. So I want our image to be on the left of the text. So there we go. I have it on the left. Looks a little big. So maybe I want to adjust the size, maybe 15%, or maybe even a little smaller could be okay, 12%. That looks pretty good. And one other thing I want to do here is to uncheck this ignore padding. So as you can see, it's really pushed up against our border here. So when I ignore that, I deselect that, then it will take into account our padding that we will apply to this these shapes here. So that's starting to come together, but one problem is it's showing for all of them, and that's not what I want. I want it to show only for the selected one. So what I'm going to do here is set them as a background, and notice that I am, for the state here, I'm under all. So I will set it as a background for this one and set the transparency to 100%. So the reason why we set it as a background is to get that proper padding at the front. And as you can see, now we're not seeing any of the check marks. So I will change now to selected. So when it's selected, then I will change the transparency to 0%. so that we can actually see it. So, there it is. I can see that. But for the selected one, I actually don't want it set up as a background. So I will deselect this here. And as you can see, we have our little check mark there beside the one that's selected and not beside the ones that are not selected. So that is working beautifully. And so that, you could also do any type of formatting that you want on hover effects or on press effects. I'm going to leave it as a default for now, and let us talk about selection icon. So we'll add a little selection icon to the ones that haven't been selected. So as you can see here, we have it. We have a little square checkbox here, and I want to remove it from the selected. So if it's selected, don't show the icon. So I can deselect this. There we go. Perfect. So we have it for the ones that aren't selected, but not for the ones that are selected. And we could change, the layout of it, what color we want it to be, how transparent it is, if we want it to be on the left, the right, and so on. So maybe what I'm going to do is just knock down the size a little bit, maybe 15 pixels. That looks about right. And I will leave the color as is for now. And let's talk about buttons. So here we need to now edit the coloring of our buttons. So right now it's all default. So first thing that I want to do here is change the padding. And with the padding, you have a few built-in padding options: the wide, normal, narrow, or custom. I'm going to choose the narrow one here. I find that it seems to work pretty decent. But we could also choose a custom and then adjust the padding as we need it. So, maybe this is too close here to the end. Let's add a little bit more, maybe a 15 pixels. That looks perfect, in my opinion. So let's add that in, and you could change that for whether it's selected or not selected. Now let's talk about border. Let's just remove the border completely. And let's do the fill. So the fill here that I want is a really light gray. So I'm going to use this F6, F6, F6 hex code. So it gives us that nice light gray for the ones that aren't selected. And now I'm going to change the state to the selected state. And here I'm going to choose this blue, but I probably want maybe a little bit lighter of a blue. So I'm going to edit that, something like this. Perfect. I like that. That's maybe a little too light. Maybe let's go a little darker here. All right, perfect. So we have our button, and the last thing now that we need to do is to change the text. So let's go back to our callout values, and I will change the font, maybe Sego UI here. I'm okay with the 12 point, although I need to expand this a little bit because it's getting cut off. Perfect. And the color, I'm okay with that. That's a nice contrast, this gray versus the light gray background. So for my selected now, I will change it to this dark blue, which matches the blue in that image. And I will also change it to semi-bold, so just to give that difference. And now we could interact with this and see how that's working. Perfect. So we can select different options here, and the last thing I will do is just to change the sorting here so that we have our total first and then our land then and house. And then we have this awesome looking slicer that we can toggle between different options to show them here. And when it's all selected, it looks really sharp, looks like something that you would see in a web app. So that's it. That's how you can create a Power BI slicer that looks like a web app. So it looks really sharp, and we're using all native visuals inside of Power BI. So it just takes a little bit of adjustments there in the formatting and using images to get that really nice look and feel, something like you would have coded in a web app. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to hit the like button, and we'll see you in the next video.